What is Makehuman? Makehuman is a wonderful program developed by, I believe, makehuman.org. That's where you can get it from on your internet. I usually download the what they call the nightly version, simply because they kind of update it, even though they say it's a little unstable. But I found it perfectly fine. I haven't found any problems, any bugs or viruses or malwares or malnutritions in it or anything like that. This is your opening grid with your Makehuman character that comes in as a female. Now, Makehuman has several nice options to it, particularly the nightly version. I don't know whether the one that's the regular version for Windows or Linux has. You've got front view, back side view, right hand side view, left hand side view, top view and bottom view, which we won't go into because this is not an X-rated program. So you can, when you're doing your manipulations on the face, you can use any of these. Well, let me grab my keyboard. Middle scroll wheel, in, out, left click, backwards, forwards, left, right, right, down, and scroll wheel brings the character down. Now what I want to do is work on the face on my Makehuman character for the movie, the 30-minute animation we're making, ready to pitch for Mr. Spielberg. Now the advantage with Makehuman is you don't have to model the mesh, lazy, but if you want to do something quickly and you want to work on something and get characters into your scene, Makehuman is absolutely perfect for it. We've got your usual stuff here: load, save, export, undo, redo, reset, smooth. There you go, nice and smooth. That's the polygons that makes up the mesh. Little guy running away there. I'm not sure what he's actually doing. Oh, he's posing. Okay, we can. I've never used pose before. Grid and the checkerboard. I'm a little. Never used that before either. There's some of these buttons, I guess, could be regarded as obsolete. It's changing certain things. Now what are we changing here? Symmetry, symmetry left and right, symmetry right and left. So these things here that you'll probably use as a wireframe. And along the top we have here, grab the screen. Here we have files, modeling, which gives us this slider reference here, which we'll begin to use now. Well, the gender I want as a female. The age, well, my character is called Malina and she's about 16 years old. Weight I'm going to leave the same. Height, leave the same. Proportions, let's have a look at her proportions. So we'll just take it back by pressing that button there. Sets her back into position. Proportions, there you go. Asian, she's not Asian. Caucasian, bit of Caucasian in her, and I'm going to give her a North African kind of complexion. She's Middle Eastern, this particular character. Geometries, clothing. As you can see, there's a lot of clothing. They've mixed and matched here. Now, I'm going to put a pair of shoes on Melina and some socks. And there's a reason for that, because when we get into Blender, sometimes you don't want to mess around with modeling with shoes, and Melina's going to have a long kind of robe, as she's a goat herder, shepherd girl, North African desert. She'd probably wear sandals, but I put some shoes on her. If we want to put a hat, well, we've just seen how you do that. You click that and on it goes. Her eyes. I'm going to go with low poly, and the reason for that is the polygons and whatever. I don't want so many in there. If you've got to alter the eyes anyway, you've got a lot more to work with on the high poly and a lot more detail than you have on the low poly, and eyes are basically eyes. Teeth. Oh, hair. I'm going to give her some hair. Not going to give her a bob, I'm going to give her a braid. That looks quite nice. She's going to have teeth. I'm going to leave these topologies as none. Eyebrows. Middle Eastern look quite dark. Eyelashes. Let's make the eyelashes nice, make her look rather attractive around the eyes. And a tongue, as all women possess, and we've been lashed by many times, I expect. A tongue. Materials. Eyes. Eye colour. I'm going to go with green. I like green. I think it's a very attractive colour. And the shoes will leave black, maybe brown on the shoes. Let me have a look. Well, we've only got black, we've got no choice. Pose and animate. These are your rigs, your armatures, that when you're using a rig file or animating, it needs a skeleton. We all need skeletons to move, so does the armature need a skeleton. And I think I'm going to go with the default skeleton on this. And as you can see, there's the default skeleton. Legs, hips, breast, shoulders, arms and fingers. We're not going to render. We'll render when we're in Blender, when we're using this. Settings, we don't really need. Utilities and help. Well, don't really need help. Now, pose. You can pose her in any of these positions. You can pose her flying, but we're going to export her into Blender, and we need a straightforward, ordinary T-pose. It gives us a good starting reference, the T-pose does. So that's what we'll put, and expressions, none. Now this is the default features. I like the default features personally on this. As a tutorial, I'm not going to spend an hour changing the nose, changing the eyes, changing the lips. That's not the purpose of the exercise. The purpose of the exercise is just to show you how to use Makehuman. Now, I'm going to save this file. So I'm going to go to Files. I'm going to go to Save. And I'm going to type in Melina. And I'm actually going to attach, I'll show you in a little while, a MHX Makehuman rig to it. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So we've got Melina. She's going to be MHX Rigify Exchange. That's how I'm going to save her. So every time I come into files, I want Melina as a Rigify Exchange. This is what I'll get. So let's save that. Now she's saved. Now we're going to export. Now export is quite important. I usually export a collada with a rig, a collada without a rig, Makehuman without a rig, a Makehuman with a rig, or an OBJ wavefront with a rig, or an OPJ wavefront without a rig. But in this, we're just going to export the one, which is this here. Now this will go into your C drive on your computer as soon as we press export. So now we'll press export and we'll turn up in Blender in the next tutorial. So hopefully I'll see you later, kids. There is one thing we have to do, and it's very important. Meter. I always select meter and feet on the ground. Any of these dimensions here either make it too big, too small, too wide, and feet on the ground, when she's exported into as an asset into any of your 3D programs, you don't want to stuck up in the air and you're looking all over the place to try and find it. So that's where we want her. Melina MHX Rigify Exchange. We'll click the Makehuman Exchange, meter, and we're going to export her now. As you can see, it takes a little time. So there's a lot of information for the computer to analyze before it chucks it across into your 3D programs. So it's thinking about it. It does say stop responding with the there, it's just thought about. When it says stop responding, don't stress, don't panic and press all the buttons and close it all down, because all the computer's doing, it's not responding, it's just thinking about it. I don't know why they don't say thinking about it instead of not responding. That took me a while to, I was panicking all the time, it's not responding, and I was getting absolutely nowhere. Anyway, enough of me blabbing on. I'll see you in the next tutorial, kids. You take care.